Hello and welcome to another episode of me sharing my love of knitting here on YouTube. My name is Elo, I'm coming to you from Oslo, Norway, and this is my channel called aKnittersSoul. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. It's always lovely to have you spending time with me, and if you are new here, I do hope you find something to your liking, and if you do, don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button and leave a like if that's something that's coming from your heart. So yeah, welcome back. It's been a minute since I podcasted last. There is a reason for it. Unfortunately, I have struggled a little bit with my health. I'm not gonna go too much into it, but I have started on new medications in the hopes of getting a better daily life. Unfortunately, getting started with it has been a little bit rough. One of the possible side effects to my medicine is headaches, and I've been pretty much riddled with them for 2-3 weeks straight. I think today is one of, today I still have a little bit of a headache, but it's not as bad as it has been. So I'm gonna do my best of trying to kind of take advantage of feeling slightly better and make a video and share with you with everything that I've been making. Again, since I haven't feeling 100%, it's not gonna be a whole bunch, at least when you look at the time frame that I've been away, but I still have quite a bit to share, thanks to the fact that there is quite a long time frame since I podcasted last. A little bit of admin as per usual. I will be linking everything down below. If I do forget to mention or write something down, don't hesitate reaching out to me either on Instagram or Ravelry, as those are the places that I do visit most frequently. I have maybe not been as active as of late, again due to my health situation, but I will check in from time to time to see if there is any messages and make sure to reply to them as soon as possible. Anything else? Thank you to every single one of you who's been commenting. I've been reading every single message. I have not replied to every single one. I unfortunately haven't had the energy or the brain space to do so, but I do absolutely appreciate every single message that's been written to me, and yeah, it's a joy. I must say to those of you who do interact through comments, it's so beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you for taking that time. As I see how much it can mean to us here creating these videos for you. I'm unfortunately not one of the best ones myself to comment, so but I do always try to leave a comment from time to time, at least, if not every single time. But I do notice that there are some voices that are there quite often in the comments, and their voices are super appreciated. And even if you don't feel like commenting, that's also beautiful, but this is just a little homage to those of you who do take the time to do so. Also, I need to mention 2 episodes ago I claimed Tina Ko as an Estonian designer. She is a Finnish designer. My mind went, yeah, language families, they sound similar, and my mind just went, and yeah, no, she's a Finnish designer and she makes a lot of beautiful sock designs. I think the ones that I've noticed the most, but she does have other designs as well, I believe. I'm quite sure about it. Is there anything else? Yes, as mentioned, I am easiest to you can reach me easiest on either Instagram or on Ravelry. I'm not super active on Facebook, and also I try to kind of preserve that to be a place for family and friends that I know in real life. So, and even though if you if you were there, I'm super not active there. I'm hoping that in the future I will feel better and I will be more active also on Instagram again. I used to be better there, but everything in due time. I'm trying to not pressure myself and do this more when I have the energy and the capacity for it. Okay, that's been quite a few minutes now, and we still haven't gotten to the knitting, so let's dive right into it. What am I wearing? It is my Seaside Tee by Cheryl Mokhtari. I'm not sure how you spell her name, but yeah, I'm finished with that. I was working on it quite religiously since I saw you last, and finished it actually quite quickly because it was quite fun to knit on, with the stripes and everything. Oh, sorry about the noise. It just felt like it grew by itself almost. The yarns, okay, I see I've forgotten to bring one of the yarns. The main yarn, I would say, because this is what I've got the most of, is by Fosenfarget. This is something I bought a while back when she was what do you call it, she closed her shop. She was having like a sellout to because she was reorganizing, and yeah. So this is not something you can get a hold of from her, but I did see that Hettestrikk, she has a colorway called Peony, which is quite similar. Maybe it has not only like the red and the pinks, but also a little bit of like yellow speckles. Oh, focus in there. And the red yarn in this sweater is Rose by Garnfana. I think that's what it was called. I had just one skein of it, and I still have a little bit left, but I actually did make use of it, and I think I have only 16 grams left. Not quite sure where I put it, so I'm not able to show you, but yeah, I spoke about it last time, and I do have it linked on my Ravelry page, so if you wanna get the exact details, then you can go there as well. Unfortunately, Garnfana is not dyeing up this thread in particular, because this is a colorway that's gone out of production, so they can't get a hold of that color. But yeah, I absolutely love it. I did choose to knit long sleeves, as I did mention to you, I believe it was also last time or the time before that, that I'm not wearing a lot of tees in summer. So I thought that I'd rather make long sleeved light sweaters that I can throw on and, you know, have a little bit more use out of them than just having a tee and then not being cold, or like it not being cold enough to wear it, or yeah, doesn't matter. I just chose to make a long version, and I'm quite sure I'm definitely gonna make. I might even take patterns that I've purchased that are tees and make them into long sleeved, or at least 3/4 length kind of light sweaters that I can use more, because I tend to be a quite cold person when it comes to, you know, spring, autumn and winter. But in the summer I like to layer instead of having a t-shirt that is warm, because I feel, at least personally, it's harder to regulate my temperature then. But that's me. But yeah, I'm finished with it. I absolutely love it. I can absolutely recommend the pattern. I believe there is another version which is for DK, which is also called Seaside Tea, and not Seaside Tea Light. So whatever is your preference, you know, yeah, it's a lovely. It had a saddle shoulder, which I really loved. I spoke about that as well quite extensively, I think, last time, so I'm not going to touch too much into it this time around. So yeah, finished. Super happy. Loving my yarn choice. I think it's super pretty. I love those speckles and springiness, and yeah, it just makes me happy. So that was my first finished object. I think the second one I will touch into is something I have shared with you before. It's my mussel burrow hat. It is finished. This one is knit with a lamb's wool yarn that I had by Nøstebarn. It's something that I've had in my stash for a very long time. I believe I bought them before my son was born, and he's born in 2001, so that gives you a time frame. And I did run out of the blue yarn in the end. I did add a white lamb's wool yarn that I had in my stash just to finish it up, and I held it with the silk cashmere yarn Eddrun by, oh my god, Pinsvin Design. Oh, it's not focusing today. Yeah, I will link it below. It's super nice fabric. It's so soft and it's so thick and lovely, and I'm really looking forward to wearing this when it gets dark. Well, not dark. It doesn't matter with the darkness, but when it gets cold, really looking forward to using this because this is gonna be so nice. I love the fabric, the softness of the lamb's wool. Oh, there's a fluff. Together with the cashmere blend is absolutely amazing. Well, cashmere silk, it's super nice. So that's mussel burrow. That's all the teak, if I didn't mention that. Super happy with that. It's not gonna be my last mussel burrow because it does have the style that I tend to gravitate to, so I find those hats very versatile for me as a person. They may be not so fun to look at because it's a long tube and you've seen it probably quite a few times before, but I love that. And I guess we could actually do another hat if I can figure out where I put it, because oh yeah, ooh. I did a test knit for Heidi Gunnes. She is one of the creative minds behind Garnfene. She designed a hat called Eilith. I'm not quite sure how you actually pronounce it, Heidi, so sorry about that. Maybe, well, if you say it in Norwegian it would be Eilith, but I guess it's more like Eilith. And her version is a long hat, and I decided to do a short version because that's like, I either like it to be a little bit slouchy or more like this kind of, that fits kind of like perfectly. I'm not gonna put it on right now. I might insert a picture or something. And I have a bubble. This is actually a repurposed bubble because it used to be on another hat of mine, which was knit out of alpaca yarn. So I took that bubble off and put it on this one, so that I still get to enjoy this bubble. So to the yarns now. I have knit this out of a strand of Finul and a strand of Kit Silk Mohair by Drops in this light section. See, I actually should have, I thought I set up myself quite nicely here, but no, that is not right back. Actually can't, oh no, that's where it is. I had, let me see, just like a bleached white Rauma Finul garn together with Kit Silk Drops as mentioned, and the colorways is chalk, I believe, or was it Kit? I think it's chalk, I might be right. anyway, number 38. And it gave this really nice color, I find. It's like a little bit of a grayish tone to it, I think. Anywho. And when I started working on a pattern, my first plan was to use a strand of villasillat, which I had in my rose sweater, the dark burgundy red color, held together with the red mohair from Hettestrick. But I felt like when I was working up the pattern, it looked like everything was bleeding out. The mohair in that red yarn, like in the red mohair, was just mohairing too much. It looked like it bled out. So I thought, like, I'll try something else. And I was doing yarn shopping in my stash, and I found some pre-yarn, unspun yarn by Plötterloppi. Sorry, it's in the package. And I thought that would do the job just nice. And I started knitting it up, and it looked really nice, but it doesn't actually show as much on camera now. But it still looked like it was bleeding out, kind of thing. It was very weird. I don't think I've experienced it as much before, because at first I thought there was mohair doing the thing, but yeah, no, it doesn't show as much. And I thought, like, well, I'm not ripping it out one more time. I'm just gonna carry through with this. And if it, yeah, because this yarn is bleeding, was bleeding. My hands were turning kind of pinkish red when I was working with them. And I was also kind of sad about that, and actually took away a little bit of my mojo when knitting this hat, because I thought this hat pattern is super pretty. But I kind of saw it for myself to be white and red-ish, and not like a pink, or like red and pink that's kind of bled through. But luckily, when I washed it, I did have like a color catcher, and I did have some vinegar in my washing water. It didn't bleed, so actually it turned out quite nice. But it does kind of have a little bit of a pink halo, which was kind of surprising to me. But I love the hat. It's super, super pretty. I love that I did the fit that I did with a more rounded crown. For some reason, my camera did a data recovery when I was just about to talk to you about my decreases. Not sure what happened, but anyhow, I have done decreases at 7 points in this hat. To get quite a rounded hat and to get quite a quick decrease. I decreased at 7 points, and I decreased 2 stitches at a time in each point, every second row, and that turned out just perfect. Because I want, if I have a short hat like that, I like it to go really along, so to say, the shape of my head, and just be a little mushroom like that. And yeah, that turned out just perfect. I blocked it on a balloon that I just found in one of my drawers, which is luckily left behind from one of somebody's birthday celebration, and that worked out just perfect to block out this. And also, as I mentioned before, because I was afraid of the bleeding, and I did see that some red color came out, I didn't want it to lay on top of each other, and on top of it itself, so that it would maybe actually bleed, even though the water was quite clear once I was done with rinsing it out. But yeah, the pattern is not released yet, but I will link it below as soon as it is. That is, if she releases it electronically. I hope she does. Anywho, that was my Elif hat, another finished project. I do have another finished project, which is quite sizable, which you haven't seen before. I don't think I've spoken about it before. I have spoken about the yarn before. So let me just start with the yarn. This is yarn from Itamalal, and It's called Anahi. It's a, they call it a DK weight. It is 100 grams per 150 meters. And I've held it together with a strand of Kid Silk mohair by Dalegarn. I was gonna say Sandnesgarn, but it's Dalegarn. And these two together create an absolutely beautiful fabric. I absolutely love it. And what I finished is this cardigan here. Ooh. Absolutely love it. I will insert footage so you can see it. This cardigan is called Origami Leaves. It's by Svetlana Volkova, and she has quite a few really lovely and feminine designs. I actually have several of her designs in my head, kind of like something I would love to make in the future, because I quite liked her construction and the way this whole thing worked out. Very quickly, if I don't think I mentioned it before, but this one is top down. It does have short rows to shape the neckline, and yeah. This one is also knit top down in one piece. So top down in one piece, back and forth, and you knit on the button bonds. You pick up for the button bands in the end, and it's super easy. It's super easy to adjust to the length you would like. It is meant for a heavier weight yarn than what I achieved with my yarn. I think I knitted, yeah, I don't remember. I think it was 5.5 or 5 I ended up working this on, because that was a fabric I liked. So I just went up a size. I think I've knitted the size medium, and it worked out just perfect, because I wanted to have a little bit of positive ease, but I didn't want to be massive. I think it was actually so that when I was looking at the sizings, I found that, no, this is gonna be just guessing, I'm not gonna say anything. I think I just thought it would fit perfectly one way or the other to yeah, anywho, it doesn't really matter. I made it work with my gauge, and it worked out just perfect. I absolutely love this. I have done Italia bind off on everything, like my cuffs, my ribbing down below, and also the button band. It's all sewn bind off. Absolutely love it. I think it just gives that extra little finishing kind of quality to it, which makes it almost like shop, like something like you would have bought in the shop kind of feeling. Not that it's the aim, but I just love those finishing touches. I don't mind doing sewn bind off. I have added 5 buttons to it. It's maybe excessive on this short of a button band, but I didn't want to have 4, as that is, or like I didn't want to have 3, because that wouldn't be too far, like the buttons would be too far apart from each other, and I didn't want to have 4, because that's it's an even number, and I wanted to have an odd number. So yeah, that's why it's 5. I also took the buttonhole, the way you do the buttonhole from my Solfrid cardigan by Wenche Roald, which I have spoken about before and showed before. And I found these beautiful buttons in my stash, which I'm super happy with. I'm trying, like I've said it I think about 100 times, that I'm trying to be good and use my stash to the best of my ability. Anything from the yarn or like fabrics or whatever I have that is in the stash, but also buttons, because I do have quite an extensive collection of buttons, and it's not all due to me collecting them, but also because one of my neighbors at one point came to me and said, like, you know, when her mother-in-law passed away, she was left with a lot of buttons, like a whole box of it, and as I was like this crafty person, that she asked me if I wanted to inherit those, and I wasn't I didn't say no, to put it like that. So I ended up with a lot of beautiful buttons, like a lot. So my quite big collection of buttons grew even more. But yeah, absolutely love this. I've made quite a cropped version. Well, I cropped. It's to my hip bone, and I think it's gonna be perfect both over like skirts, trousers, dresses. And yes, it's a neutral white, kind of like off-white color, which is also nice because I do have a lot of colorful things, as you maybe know. So this is gonna be a great addition to kind of layer with my crazy colors that I have in my wardrobe. So yeah, that was my origami sleeves by Svetlana Volkova. Love it. I can recommend it. Absolutely. Let me just toss it there. I do have some more finished objects. I have a couple of socks. We have gone through the month of October, so I've been knitting not exclusively pink, but I have knitted some pink things. And one of them, or like two of them, finished objects, is 2 pairs of vanilla socks. And I have steamed them and kind of blocked them in different ways so they will look a little bit different, but they are the same pretty much, like as you see. It's the same ball of yarn, and I have used up every single bit of this yarn there. It is a Mille Colori. Have I not put it here? No. It is one lang yarns. Mille Colori, one of the colorways, which is sort of, it goes into these pinks and greens and purples, and yeah, and of course glitter, and actually that shows off quite well, I see. I did add another ball. I think this is I believe this was Arvetta Ballerina colorway, because I found that this kind of a cold pink suited very nicely with the colors in this colorway. So yeah, and I have done my shadow wrap peel on these ones, and yeah, these are gonna be gifts, so they are too small for me, but it's gonna be perfect for those who are the receivers. And this one I added pink toes and pink heels, still the same Arvetta Ballerina. But yeah, I thought that would kind of bind those socks together, make them look like a pair, by doing these little details, by adding like the same toes and heels, and then this the ribbing. Is there anything to say about these? I did them actually toe up. Yeah, I did toe up on both of them. Yeah, because I wanted to use up as much as I could, both because I think the yarn is so pretty. It's actually looking really great. Like, I'm sure you noticed the lighting is a little bit harsh maybe today, or a little bit off, but we've had such a gloomy, super gloomy November, also partially September. There's been super foggy, dark. We had a couple days with like a little bit colder weather and a little bit snow came, but the ground is green, there's no snow, and it's super foggy outside. It's super gray. So the light is as it is. I've tried my best and hopefully it's not too bad, but yeah. 2 pairs of vanilla socks with shadow wrap heel. I've spoken about them before. This was recommended to me by a viewer when I asked if somebody knew like an option to German short row, or like, yeah, that would fit for a little bit higher wrist, and this is what I was recommended, and I love this. I think they're so easy to learn. I think they're easy to make, and I think the seam, the stitches, it's just so pretty. It kind of closes up so nicely. I never get holes in them or anything. It's super nice. I love that heel. So, oh yeah, gosh, I got all the things here. There's the Mille Colori. It's the colorway, is it 859? Let's focus on this one. No. And yeah, I wasn't lying. It was Arvetta, and it is ballerina. It is Arvetta there. Oh, my hand is making. I was like, where's the shadow coming from? It's from my hand. Ballerina is 318. Gosh, let me put on my fun glasses. I have them there. Yeah, 318. And also, I forgot to mention that, but since I was working with a yarn that has a lot of glitter in there, I could not have glitter in the heels. So I've used, like, once again, the Stellaris by Kremke in the heels and toes and in the cuffs on the other one, just to kind of carry on that glittery kind of look. And yeah, they've been living in my beautiful bag, Sömmersont. Absolutely love this. I think it's so tastefully done. Beautiful. And now I found my scissors that I've been missing. This is like one of my favorite type of scissors. I think they are by Prim. Always safe to have in my pouches. Doesn't cut holes or anything. Had it for many years and love it. Let me think now. Was that all of my... No, I have another pair of socks. And this is also living in my other Sömmersont bag. And this is this design by, sorry, Marit Haugen Bergsranging. It's her, I'm just trying to see this, her verkssocker. Oh, blowing out, really. It's a really pretty pattern, which has ribbing and has cables, and it's super easy and super fun. And ta-da! Here they are. There. Aren't they gorgeous? I've been like saving them in a sense that I haven't been using them, but I've been like wanting to use them since I made them. But I also like, you know, I can't use them before I've showed them to you. I mean, this it's so simple, this pattern, but it is so addictive and so fun. Making those cables there is just like, oh, just another cable, you know, like you have with just another stripe. It's just so fun, super fun. And the yarns that I've knit them out of is a mini skein set that I have by Fjord Fibers. It's this one there. Oh, there, Rose Garden mini skein set. And let me see now. I have fully used up, like, let me see if I can remember this correctly now. I have fully used up this kind of a buttery, yellowy kind of color, which is called, is that true? I think, yeah, Tea Rose. And then the next one, which looks a little bit peachy, if you ask me, is First Blush. Yeah, I've written number 2 there, so that was correct. And the other one, no, the other one I did not tell you the right color. That was the 4th color. Oh, there's another that makes more sense. The first one is nectar. Ooh, I just missed on that. And then I have had that must be, oh yeah, the third one, this one there is vintage petals. Oh, come on. There. And the last one is the tea rose. That's the one I'm holding here. That makes more sense. I just didn't see the label, and I thought that since it didn't have any yarn attached to it, it must have been it, but it was not. So yeah, it's super addictive, super lovely pattern. I have plans on making more of this stock, just because I think it might be even like, it might become at one point like my, so to say, vanilla socks, because they're so easy to get into. And like this yarn, I've had it in my stash for a while, and I have had plans for this yarn for the whole different project, but never got around to it. And then I kind of like didn't fall out of love with that project, but I just didn't maybe want to make that after all. And then I was like trying to put this yarn into different types of projects in my head, and it was just not clicking for me until I was just like, oh, I'm gonna make these. And when I started working with this yarn, oh, I've heard people work with this yarn, but I haven't really realized how wonderful this yarn is, because I don't think people have really, I think it's been more about the colorways, how like beautiful colorways she makes and so and such, but I just love this yarn. For a woolly wool lover, this is perfect, because this is like, I think it's 80% wool and 20 nylon. Yeah, but no polyester. Well, yeah, nylon, polyester, plastic. So it has this really wonderful woolly wool feeling that I love, and I'm thinking that these are gonna be really nice and warm winter socks. And this is an ever so slightly thicker yarn than a finger, like it's like, it's not your typical 100 grams 400 meters. I think it's more like, why am I thinking I can just read it? It's well, it says 20 grams to 70 meters, so yeah, it's 350, isn't it? Yeah, so it's ever so slightly thicker, but I think it's just absolutely divine. Not gonna be the last time I make something out of this, because I do have more yarn from it, and also because I absolutely loved this these socks, and also this pattern I think is so beautiful. I did go into my Ravelry page, and I do think I found the link for the pattern there, but I'm not sure if you can actually purchase it on Ravelry, or if you have to go into the shop that Fortuna has, because Marit is one of the creative souls behind Gone with Dick and Fortuna, which I have mentioned before. Let me see. Was that it for my finished objects? I do believe so. My summer cal I have not worked on at all, just because I haven't been feeling well, and I've been craving for simpler knits, easier knits that didn't take a lot of thinking from me, because I do need to sit down and figure out what I want to do with the yoke of that cardigan. And that's kind of what's stopping me, because I haven't had the creative the mind for the creative process that I feel that I need in order to figure out what I'm gonna do with that, because yeah, I need to know if I want to carry on. I do think I have a plan, but I just haven't had the mind to figure it out, so I'm not gonna pull it out, as I haven't worked a stitch on that. My brioche blanket, I have knitted a few extra rows on it. I mean, it's quite a bit, like if you think of it, because the rows are there's quite a lot of stitches. You work every row twice, as it is brioche. I was here last time I spoke to you there. So there is quite a few centimeters, and I have added on a blue tone there. So hopefully I'm gonna go from this very kind of somber dark color to a bit brighter now, because that's what I'm looking at in the back. But yeah, I'm not gonna talk too much about it. I think it's a Pearl Soho pattern that I had as like a reference point to start off with, but I'm not doing the color changes that is there. I am doing my own thing. So it's pretty much just brioche stitch blanket that I'm doing my own thing with. But if you want to have the numbers, you can find them on my Ravelry page, because it does link to the pattern from Pearl Soho. I'm just trying to think of the name. Is it a posy blanket? I'm not sure. So if you're interested, go have a look. They do have a lot of really beautiful blanket patterns for free. So if you want to have like numbers to start off with, or like this beautiful as a guideline if you don't want to make it exactly as it says there. And I guess I can do this work in oh, actually no, I'm gonna do the socks, since I was just talking about fjord fibers. Oh my god, my mind just went black there. Last time I showed to you that I was working on my Batty for Halloween socks, and I mean, I had gotten quite far with them. I was not loving the process with them. I did not love my yarn choice. I kind of knew it from like going into the project that I wasn't loving the orange color that I was using. Was just like, it was fine. And I thought like, oh, I already purchased it, I'm not gonna be buying any more, I'm gonna have to use it, so and so. But I was not loving it. And then I was like, nope, gonna finish it. And got halfway on the foot of the one of them, and then realized I had decreased too little, so the sock would have been huge. I don't know what I was thinking, what happened there. I was doing mini stripes, like 2 times 2 rows, I think it was. Anywho, those been ripped out. I still do want those socks, but I will make them out of a different yarn that I'm quite sure I'm gonna love. But with that being said, when I was sitting there and thinking like, how can I make, like, what can I use in my stash that would be better, I was like, well, I don't have anything that's kind of Halloweeny, and well, almost went into Fjord Fibers shop there and started shopping for pumpkin kind of like yarns, and I was like, oh, I have such an extensive like collection of yarn that I should really not be ordering or buying anything. So I was like, okay, let me try and dye some yarn. So I did, and I dyed up with this sort of idea in my mind that it would be a little bit like candy corn, like corn candy, corn candy. Yeah. Anyway, if you know, you know. And like a mixture of that and sunset. So this is what I came up with, and it is blowing out, but not too bad. It's a little bit less screaming, the yarns in real life, maybe like that, close to. And I was quite happy with the way it turned out. I might also insert a picture like how it looked when it was not caked up, just to get a better idea of how the yarn is. And it was too pretty for Halloween socks. I felt almost like Easter kind of vibes with them, and I was like, well, I don't want to make them into baddie socks. So I'm still not making the baddie socks. Those baddie socks, baddie for Halloween socks, are ripped out, but they will come on my needles for sure. Stone knits, by the way, the baddie for Halloween by Stone Knits. And I've gone for Hermione's Everyday Socks instead by Erica Loader. Isn't that what her name is? Loader? I think so. I will write it down. Because when I went to do your like stockinette kind of vanilla sock, I thought it was too boring. It wasn't doing justice to the yarn, and I was trying different things, and I found that I have kind of thought this thought before as well, that Hermione's Everyday Socks, they do work with yarns that are semi-busy kind of thing, and it binds it together in a very, very nice way. So yeah, I do have two. Oh, let me just pull out my needles a little bit there. We don't want stitches awry. So I do have two of them, more or less at the same point. I turned the heel, like I have the, what's it called? It's a partridge eye heel. So it's a reinforced heel, which is pretty much with the slip stitches, but every second, or like when I'm working on my right side, I do the slip stitches on the right side. So on the right side, when every second time I move where my slip stitch is, so it gets like off by one stitch every time, instead of working in the straight down, because that's when you get the lines that looks almost like ribbing. But I do like this sort of, because it kind of gives the honeycomb effect on with that one, and I really like that. I just, yeah, turned it, and I'm doing a regular gusset there. And yeah, I think they're gonna be so pretty, like super happy, both for like Easter, but also like when everything is so gloomy and dark and boring and we need a little bit of sunshine. Then I have my sunset kind of colorway there. Yeah. So working from both sides of the skein, like from inside and from the outside. And yeah, it used to be the colorway called natural off-white, I guess, by Pure Fibers. So that is the 100 grams to 350 meters, 80% wool and 20% polyester. So I managed this time around to actually not shop for a new yarn, but that's not a sign of that I haven't bought any yarn. That would be lying if I said that. I have bought quite a bit of yarn since you saw me last, because I've been to knitting market twice since then, and I also went to visit a shop, which I will talk to a little bit later on. So yeah, some yarn has come to my home since last, my stash, my collection. Next working project, can you guess what it is? Yeah, it is my another Musselburgh hat. It's looking way brighter on screen, and the stripes look harsher on the screen and than they are. It's not quite as contrasty in real life, I find, at least. I mean, there is contrast, of course, but not as strong as it looks like. This is a zebra yarn, or like it has partially this there, maybe zebra stripes that come in, which create this darker, yeah, which creates this stripes. And this is a yarn that I've had in my stash for a little while, but just hadn't decided what I want to make out of them. And I thought that's another color that would be kind of fun to wear in the winter to make me, or like, feel brighter. And this is, so yarn is Stulenstrick Lilla, and as you can see from the label, it is an older yarn. But hey, yarn does not run out on date, like as in it doesn't have an expire date or best before date. You use it when your heart desires it, and you know what you want to make out of it. So yeah, it's been in my stash for a little while, but now I at least found finally something to make out of it, and I think it's gonna be a wonderful addition to my hats, because I need some bright colors. Well, I do have quite a few bright colors, but I need something that's even brighter, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Anyhow, I have one last working project, and I'm gonna have to move one back here that's crinkly to get to it, and that's my purse knitting. It lives in this bag here because I'm working with a cone. Yeah, it is the size of my head, so that's not really like purse knitting per se, even though it is a very simple knit. it's not the most convenient to bring with you. Even though I'm not gonna say I'm never gonna do that, because suddenly I'm like, oh, I want to bring that because it's a very simple knit. Okay, and let me just put this cone down here safely. Oh. What I'm working on is a pattern that's called just skirt or shirt. It is, oh sorry, by Rauma. It is this one here. There. I have shown it to you before. I've spoken about it before, and I had picked out colors which I started working on before, but I just wasn't feeling the colors that I put together. I realized. So I ripped it back. I put it back on a back burner, waiting to figure out like what color I want to make it, and I did figure it out. I'm just trying to say, yeah, it's if you want to look it up on Rauma, it's in this magazine that is 246, and this is like 246R. Can you focus? I think so. Not sure if it is in any other languages than Norwegian, but I will have a look-see and link it down below if I do find it. Or like I will link it down below anyway, but I might have to choose like country depending where you are and see if you can either find it in, I'm sure they have some Scandinavian languages, but not sure about English. I will do some research and make some notes, I guess. So my colors are this black, and there's some fluff on it. This I purchased in summer when I was to Rauma Ullvarefabrik. This is a discounted cone. It said that this yarn has some weaknesses. I haven't seen anything really mentionable quite yet. It seems to work just fine. I haven't seen anything that I think can become an issue. And I'm pairing it with a skein of Methera. Let me pull out the tag. This was gifted to me by, like in a swap, actually we swapped with this. Well, yeah, I did a swap, so this was gifted to me by a lovely viewer. Methera, and I think it has the same, exactly the same meterage as Finull does. Yeah, 350 meters per 100 grams. And this one is, how do you pronounce this? Sorry to you Brits, I'm gonna butcher. Oh, actually, no, I'm not gonna butcher it. I'm gonna show you, and you can read the blend. But it is 100% British wool. I'm sure you had time to pause and read if you were interested in it. And this yarn is so lovely to work with, and it goes perfectly with my Finull. And this is her. This is my skirt. I think it's gonna be super pretty, super versatile. The first time around when I was starting to work on this, I chose quite light colors. But if you know me in real life, I'm like quite colorful from waist up. But I tend to go for more neutral colors waist down. So I don't have a lot of I do have some color in my skirts, but not a lot. It's like a dark burgundy, it's a dark green, it's a gray, it's a black, you know? Or jeans, like you have dark jeans, light jeans, but there's still jeans that like sort of quite neutral color. So I thought, since I have a lot of really bright and colorful tops, I will go for a more neutral skirt. And I also had the black. I didn't have any concrete plans with it, and I mean, like, hello, there's plenty for a lot. I weighed the cone. It was 955 grams, and yeah, that's like with the thingy, the paper cone in there. So well over 900 grams of wool in there, so it's gonna be plenty for much more than just the skirt. But I want it to be quite classic in color, so that's why I chose that green to it, just to make it quite classical looking, if you know what I mean. And to give it a little bit of interest, I was thinking different colors, but this was the one that spoke to me the most. I think it's gonna be pretty with all my pinks and with my kind of like heather colors, or even like bluish colors or green, you know, anything really, or yellow, whatever. So I feel that's maybe, in my eyes and for my wardrobe, the most versatile. And actually it grows quite quickly. This is not many days with knitting. It's knit on 3mm needles. This was 2.5. It's just a ribbing. Can you tell? Yeah, a little bit ribbing. I did old Norwegian cast on just to make sure it had a little bit of stretch, so it wouldn't be like all stiff and maybe break very easily with wear and tear kind of thing. But yeah, I'm loving the fabric. I've always loved knitting with finial because I do love the fabric. I love how easy it is to color work with this yarn, because it's both forgivable, but it's just, yeah, it's just so nice. And yes, I do have 100,000 like different stitch markers on it. The pattern is not difficult. As you can see, it's super easy. Nothing difficult there. But what I need it for is like that I wouldn't kind of sleep or fall asleep and kind of start knitting the lines the wrong way, if you know what I mean, like going this way instead of going that. So it's just a reminder, like when I get there, I need to make sure that the lines are going into the center. So that's helping. And this is one mistake I made. So I might fix it, I might leave it, because I mean, like, nobody's gonna see it, but at the same time, it would be nice to fix it and make sure that it's 100% perfect. Absolutely loving this. Love, 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 love. And I already thought I might make more of them, because it is a super easy knit. It is a very meditative knit, and actually it goes quite quickly once you get into the flow of the pattern. Because again, it's not a difficult pattern, you just have to get into it. And with having those like stitch markers divide the pattern repeats, it's even easier, if you ask me. So yeah, loving that skirt. This is not anything I'm gonna rush with. I don't need to get it done today or yesterday. I'm just gonna enjoy it and do whenever I feel like working on that. Future plans, there are plenty. There's a plethora of plans. I have a sweater I need to get starting on, which is for my man. I'm hoping to get it done by Christmas Eve, which I'm sure I will be able to do just fine. But yeah, it's just a matter of getting started. Yeah, that's one of the plans I have. I have several quantities like for sweaters, and I have concrete patterns in my mind which I want to make. But I will come back to them when I've started on them, because it's just, we don't need to be spending time on those right now, I feel. What I can do is I can tell you about some of my acquisitions. Yeah. So if you're here just for the knitting, thank you for being here. Oh, actually, no, don't go yet. Because I had a plan. I already forgotten. How could I? Before you go, this I should have done maybe in the beginning, but it is what it is. We're doing it now. I never heard back from the winner of this little pouch, so I'm entering this into a new giveaway. And actually, I'm thinking, since I'm filming on the 1st of December, and since we're heading into Christmas season, I'm actually gonna draw 2 winners from my previous comment section. So if you commented on my previous videos, I'm gonna be drawing this little pouch with all the little extra things that's in here. because there were stitch markers in there. Oh, let me just remind you of these beautiful stitch markers and knitting fish in there. I'm gonna draw a winner of these, and I'm also gonna draw a winner for this beautiful bag, which is made by Eddrun from Garnhaugen. She has her own podcast here. So in order to do that, I actually have to locate my phone. There it is. I might do a little clip cut and zoom forward or something, so you're not gonna have to, because this is not prepared at all by any means, because this is just like super last minute. Okay, I'm back. I have now gone into YouTube random comment picker. I've loaded in a link from my last video, and let's pick a winner. Woo! That went quick. So the winner of this one is gonna be Wild Cottage Knitting. So reach out to me, Wild Cottage Knitting. Reach out to me either on Instagram or Ravelry, and I will send it to you ASAP, so as like a little Christmas present. And then this project bag, handmade by Eddrun, is gonna go to, I'm gonna do it like this since it was super quick. The second winner is Swami Mommy. So Swami Mommy, reach out to me as well, either on Instagram or Ravelry, and I will send these to you as soon as possible. So yeah, congratulations. Hopefully this is gonna be a lovely addition to your Christmas gifts and surprises and everything. That's, yeah. Anyhow, congrats. So now we can say that if this is the part you came here for, the knitting, the winning, the whatever, and this is like where you wanna leave, it's fine. Thank you for being here. Keep on commenting, because you never know, I just might, decide to do a giveaway. And yeah, we can go into acquisitions instead. I have been to, as I said, well, it's kind of the same, oh my god, words. I have, let's call them two knitting markets, because they have been knitting markets in the same space, but like a little bit different. As the one was just like a knitting market, and the second was more like a Christmas market, but with a whole floor with knitting vendors on one of the floors, because they did have workshop with some woodworking and some macrame and some other things there, but we went just to look at yarn. So I'm just trying to think where to start. I'm sorry, I keep on crinkling with that bag. It's just super unfortunate, but there's nothing I can do about it now. When I went to the first knitting market, I did pick up a little bit of new yarn. I had heard about this yarn. There's been a lot of talk about it, and I just thought that I need to try it out. So I picked up only this at the knitting market. And this one I have picked up later on to so that I could do colorwork socks, because this is a sock yarn by Hillesvåg, and it's called Fjära, and it's more of a fingering weight type of yarn, isn't it? yeah, it is 100 grams to 375 meters, and it is 80% Norwegian wool blended with 20% nylon. It's blowing out. It's not as bright of a orange, but it is orange, but it's more like a burnt dark orange, I would say, than it's looking. And this is definitely not white. It's a light gray. Yeah, it's actually like called gray white, but when you look at it in like normal lighting, it's more of a like light gray, I would say. But yeah, so that's something I picked up and I want to try, and I'm really looking forward. This might, if this is like, if I like working on it, then this and Fjord fibers are gonna definitely gonna be my favorite going forward kind of type of yarns that I will be using for socks, because I like the wooliness of them, in addition to the ones that I found that I like BFL type of things, because that's also kind of a sock yarn that I like. What's that kind of a sentence? Did that make any sense? I like woolly wool, and I like my sock yarn to be kind of woolly type as well. So I prefer them to be 100% woolly wool or BFL, because I like the feeling, I like the warmth I get from them, and yeah. I did also pick up this is also fjäre, but I'm not gonna go into the whole story, but it's called, it's actually a colorway called Antrahit, which is, let me see, it's, yeah, Antrasit, not Antrahit, Antrasit. But the colorway is sort of this this colorway, as it is when you buy it on the shelf, is a bluish steely gray, which I didn't love, but when I was in the shop, that was what went best with this, because I was thinking that I would make the body for Halloween socks from that instead. But like I said, I didn't love it, and so I actually ended up dyeing over it with food coloring, and I do not have black coloring, and somebody actually said that you can't really get true black with dyeing anyway, which was fine, because I had chosen to dig out, I had blue, I had red in my cookie jar, I was gonna say, in my fridge for as food coloring, and I blended them into a dark purple, and I thought that would make it like a cool purple toned, almost like black looking yarn. It looks almost like black, I think, on screen, but it is quite dark, but it does, like, when I look at it like in my artificial light, it looks a little bit like a deep purple, I was gonna say, what's aubergine, like the color of aubergine. So yeah, this is the new yarn from Hillesvåg, which I'm really looking forward to trying out, because I'm hoping that's gonna make it's gonna make really lovely warm socks, I think, and it's gonna be just divine to color work with it. I'm quite sure of it. Also, when I was at the knitting market last time, because I was 1-to-1 yesterday, as mentioned, I saw the vendor called Through the Wardrobe, and I picked up this sock set, which is sort of like a minty blue together with this really beautiful kind of heathery pink. It was just so pretty, like so pretty, and I just had to have it. It is called B-Test Soft Blue, so I guess it's not something that she carries, but it was a test at a time. And yesterday when I was there, I picked up this sock set. I went and looked at it first, and I was like, no, I have enough. But when I returned there just before the closing time, she still had them, and I was like, oh, I guess it was meant to be. I had to have them. And yes, it does have glitter in it. Look at the glitter. Ooh, so beautiful. And it's just divine. It's this perfect combination of sort of this greeny bluey, no, not greeny blue, greeny browny color, and with this soft pink in there. It's just, I mean, like, I just could not leave it there. I just had to have it. And my friend was like, if you wouldn't have bought it, I would have. So thank you for doing that, saving me money. So she saved money, but whilst I used money. Yeah. But I didn't go like crazy bananas. I did buy some. I usually try to buy things that are not readily available otherwise. Or that I'm not able to see the colors like in real life, because I always find there to be a difference, like seeing them in real life or seeing them on screen. So I do like to buy special yarns in that sense on these markets. I also picked up something that I have not tried before. This is superwash wool, 75% superwash wool blended with 25% polyamide. I was just trying to see where it's from. It says it's spun in Turkey for Euro yarns. But yeah, I just thought this was so fun. I'll let you read this. It is focusing on my glasses. Yeah. Araucania yarns, Huasco socks, prison paints. It says 100%. And the reason why I ended up buying it, because like, you know, I do have quite a bit of sock yarn, so it's not like I'm lacking it and I need any more of it. But seeing this knit up, it was such a fun sock. It created this one by one kind of stripes, but the stripes weren't like the whole way through. They were like breaking up here and there. And yeah, it suits so well what it says, that it's kind of like this prison paint. Like it looks like a prison. And I thought it was so cool. So cool. So I'm really looking forward to making socks out of this. So these actually, I did think like buy with the idea of socks, because sometimes I buy yarn, I think, oh, shawl or hat or something, but these I want to make socks out of, just because I loved the kind of stripes they created. And they did have several colorways, but this is what spoke to me most at the time. And yeah, it is super cool. So these are socks that I'm looking forward to casting on sometime in the near future. Definitely. So not yarn that I worked with before, but I thought it was super fun. And also from that shop, they gave up this cool I was gonna say knitting bag, but no, like a shopping bag. And this shop was, I do have a little bit crinkled up paper because it's been in there, I'm so sorry. But it is, yeah, you can read it. So if you get 25% off of your first order when you sign up for like their newsletter, is what it says here. So yeah, check it out. They did have quite a few like things there that I really like. And I did buy some other yak sock yarn from them because it was heavily discounted, and it was something that I had from before and actually could use more of, because that's something like in colorways that works very nicely for my man, kind of dark green and dark blue. So yeah, those were the knitting markets here in Oslo that I bought those from. No, I'm lying, there's one more. This is the crinkly bag. Close your eyes. I was gonna say close your ears. Hopefully I've edited out the crinkle of this time. But the last thing I bought on the market yesterday was actually a pattern to a pair of, I was gonna say socks. My mind is really not working. A pair of gloves. And she had these ones in particular, like hanging, or like at least those ones that I noticed, they were hanging by her table there. Super sweet, like with these little Christmas trees and this really pretty little cuff there with these details. And yeah, the one, it had those embroideries on. It was just so sweet. It's so well done. It was, yeah, just lovely. And a friend of mine actually purchased a set of like that in almost the same colors, I decided to go for these. It's blowing out a bit. It's more of like a minty blue. It does have more of a tint to it. It looks almost like white on screen, at least for me. And then it's really gorgeous, kind of a foresty green. And the yarn is, I think she said that there were plant dye yarns. It's their brand is called Skogens Gull, the gold of the forest, and this is their information. And I am trying to remember if she said that I believe this was dyed on Ask by Hillesvåg. I might be wrong. I believe it was what she said. Anyway, it is 100 grams to 350 meters, 2 thread wool yarn. These are 50-gram skeins, so just enough for those mittens, which is perfect. I'm really looking forward to knitting this. But yeah, it was, I mean, first and foremost because of these mittens that I bought this knit set. And I think it's gonna be cool because I'm thinking the light background with the green trees, and yeah. So that was my last purchase yesterday. And then I have two more yarn purchases. Are you still awake, or have I bored you to to somewhere else? I don't know, sleepy land. I had the privilege of joining a couple of friends to this shop that I've thought about visiting for a long time, which is called Stulen Strikk, and the beautiful dyer called Björn. And I couldn't help myself. I had to have some yarn from him, and this is showing restraint because I was holding 3 more skeins there, and I was looking at more, and I was like, no, I have yarn. But yeah, it does have glitter. Yes, you saw it right. And it's called Olivengrønn, as in olive green. I would say it's more like a foresty green than olive green, but okay, hey ho. I'm not gonna argue with that. It doesn't matter. I'm thinking of making a Christmas sweater out of it, and I'm contemplating either something like along the lines of like lento, because I do have only 2 skeins, or what's the other one that I was thinking? Yeah, I'll come back to it when I figure it out. But yeah, the yarn is so beautiful. I mean, hello. It is a 75% merino, 20 nylon, and 5% stellina, gold stellina. Ooh, but I'm not gonna stress. It's gonna be Christmas sweater whenever it's gonna be time for it. I'm not gonna stress and have it done by this Christmas. Maybe I do, I won't, I don't know. Time will show. And the last yarny acquisition I have is this. It's a ball of Sunday by Sandnesgarn. It is black, and it's a ball, I was gonna say roll. It looks like a more a cone roll by like bling in black. And you're wondering now, like, what is she thinking of now? Because that's not a lot of yarn now, is it? At least not of that. This is gonna be a purse, and I do not remember the name of it, but it is a petite knit design. I was gifted the pattern by Vibeke from Varme Masker, and I was heavily influenced by her and Teresa from Bare en maske til to knit this bag. And it's gonna be bling. Can you have too much bling in your life? No, still no. I'm still not. I haven't reached my point of like, no, do I have enough bling now? No, never enough bling. So yeah, I'm looking forward to knitting this up. It's gonna be fun, and I'm really looking forward to seeing their versions of it, because they did buy yarn as well for it. And yeah, we're all gonna do that. So those were my yarny acquisitions. I did also buy myself one more knitting bag. Yeah, I know. I do have quite a few of them. But I don't have many Christmas bags, so this is my second Christmas bag that I have. And I thought it was so pretty. I just love the motif of it. It's super simple. It's like this drawstring bag, you know. Super simple. It is by Strikkevesker. She has her she's on Instagram, Strikkevesker, Inger Johanne, also from Bare en maske til, and it has this fun sheepies in there. I'm like, hello, Christmas. I wonder if it's like a tablecloth or something like that. But I thought it was just so pretty. So pretty. And I love simple, beautiful designs like this. And I love the drawstring. It's really well made. So yeah. She does have her bags for bags for sale on Instagram, but I also know that her husband has gotten his web shop online now, which is Terjes Mynt, and I will link that below so you can find her bags there now as well if you would like to purchase anything from her. I was gonna think, yeah, and then I won a thing. So this is something I didn't buy. I won this. And I feel so blessed because what I won was actually something that I was considering buying. And then it came to me through like sort of divine... What's it called now? Divine timing? No, it's not the thing I'm looking for. Anyway, intervention. Divine intervention. I have been thinking about getting hold of these. Like your set needle holders. Because when I'm knitting socks, I do magic glue. But when I'm knitting mittens or gloves or something like that, and I do like to use set needles, or DPNs. I mean, like double pointed needle is called, not set needles. And then it's nice to have something like that. And they are super fun. Like, look at the fun fabric there. And this is more like a cheetah. Pink, of course. Oh, I forgot to say. This I won at Kristin Fröken K has had rosa samstrick, or like a pink knit along in the whole month of October. And that is to support the cancer research here in Norway. And she's been calling upon all of us knitters in this long stretched country called Norway, and also some Swedes have come in to play and contributed with money to the research. She's been really good at it, and this is the 3rd or 4th year she's done this, and I think she collected over 200,000 Norwegian kroner this time. Thanks to her engagement, the the Cancer Fund received over 200,000 kroner. I think it was. If I'm saying it incorrectly, I will correct myself on the screen. But anyway, that's why I won, because I put my 2 pairs of those vanilla socks into this Ravelry thread, and also this one because it does have like this pink speckles in there. And yeah, I won. And I always just won this beautiful, look at this cutie. It's so sweet. It's so well made. I'm trying to see, it says just håndlaget av Mona, so handmade by Mona. And they are so sweet. And it also has a little tin box in there. So she's been super generous with her gift, I must say. And then I was just like, it just kept on coming. I saw there was supposed to be some stash, but this is like crazy amount of stash. I guess this is more like a key holder. and it has like a pink tassel. It has the red like pink ribbon there, if I manage to turn it there. Ooh. And then it says never never give up on this one. It's just so cute. Look at it, and then like the tree of life and a heart. It's just so well made, so well thought through. And if that wasn't enough, I mean, like, I'm not gonna go through all of them, but there's so many beautiful stitch markers in here. It's just, I mean, like, look at that little mushroom there. Oh, focus, please. It's so many beautiful stitch markers. So thank you so much to Mona, who gave this as a donation to this huge raffle that's kind of done by Fröken K. Kristen. It was just amazing. I mean, like, hello. The time and effort she's put into making those things, amazing. I mean, like, I love handcrafters and how we support each other, and how generous, like, I find people are. It's absolutely amazing. So this is it for knitting content. It is it for my acquisitions. As I mean, I have had some other acquisitions, but they're more like, so to say, mundane everyday things, more like your regular schmegular yarns, and then those will come back to when I take them into use. Because I don't buy a lot of expensive yarns all the time. I do not. But sometimes I do allow myself to splurge a little and buy some, because it does bring me a lot of joy in my everyday life. And I'm thinking, like, why not have those little joys and allow yourself something from time to time? Because a lot of times I do go for those less expensive yarns that are more affordable. And yeah, I don't know where I was heading with that, but I actually came to think of one more thing that I want to share with you. So I'm gonna just reach over. Don't look at my bum. Close your eyes. I have been making gifts, Christmas gift for my knitting friends. I'm just trying to figure out how I can show it to you. I haven't glued it together yet because I thought maybe not. But what it is, as you see, is it's a cup, right? I'm thinking of gluing it with a sort of like the correct type of glue. Oh my god, words. And I'm making it into a candle holder. And since it is like a cup of tea, you have to have a little bit of goodies, candies, macaron. And this is really a box of those light bulb type of stitch markers. And of course you have those little stitch stoppers. And I'm thinking, like, isn't that a nice gift for my knitting friends? Have a cup of tea or light a candle. So I have made 2 of these in a little bit different colors. I still need to get a hold of more cups, because these cups are something that I have picked up at one point in my life from a flea market, because I always wanted to make something like that. So this is going to be something for my knitting friends going forward. Is there anything else to tap into? No, I don't think so. As I mentioned all the way in the beginning, I have struggled a little bit with my health situation. It hasn't been great. I've had some okay days, and I've managed to go out and do things and be part of life. But there's been more days that I haven't done that. And yeah, I must say I've struggled a little bit with my mental health. I've been a little bit, I wouldn't say like depressed, but I have been feeling low. I've had a lot of thoughts of self-doubt and putting myself down one way or other. So it's not been exactly like great in that sense. And I was a part of a conversation where it was talk about like how sometimes, you know, well, how should I touch into that? I guess I can touch into this saying like how I feel. Like sometimes I do feel I get to be a lot, that I'm too much. I'm, you know, I might get too excited and too much and talk a lot and take up a lot of space, and then I might just go afterwards and think like, oh no, why was it so loud? Why was I taking up so much space? And have all this kind of thoughts of like, oh, I should be more quiet. I should have let other people talk more. And I have that tendency of having this kind of harsh thoughts about myself and the way I am, and I don't know, it's all kind of this, you know, I wouldn't say like childhood trauma that's coming in, but I guess to a degree it is, because, you know, without going into it, sometimes we are dealt cards that are a little bit rough and we bring them with us to our adult lives, and I haven't still worked through everything, and I see I have a tendency of feeling that I shouldn't take up space, I should be quiet, and yeah, that tendency of being hard on yourself, because yeah, you have to deserve love, you have to deserve friendships, everything has to be deserved. It's not like you don't have to deserve it, you can just have it just because who you are and you're liked for who you are. And that's a concept that is so hard for me to grasp and understand at times, that I do tend to talk myself down and think less of myself, and yeah, kind of doubt like why people want to be with me. And this is not to kind of harvest any kind of sympathy or anything, it's just the way my mind thinks and goes, and kind of, yeah. So I do have the tendency of like talking myself down, and hence I end up feeling a little bit low. And then with this period of life where I've had now a lot of trouble with headaches, aches, and discomfort, that kind of gets amplified, if it makes sense, because I feel so out of touch with life and so out of touch with everybody, because I don't have the energy or capacity to be part of life. And that makes me sad, because I do like people, I do love being with people, I do also love solitude, I do love pulling back and just being and not interacting kind of thing. But yeah, that's kind of like a part of me which I wish I could be kinder with myself at times. And in some parts of my life I have become kinder with me, and I'm not as harsh with myself, and I'm not overthinking things too much. But I do see that sometimes my mental health is not where it should be. So yeah, it's a balance, I guess. It's hard sometimes. Sorry, going on a rant here. Not even sure that you're interested in hearing that, but I mean, hey ho, this is me, you know, raw and honest. I'm just saying who I am. I hope you still want to hang with me, even though I'm going into this sort of heavier kind of stuff. I'm not trying to be too heavy. I'm just thinking it's important with mental health and taking care of ourselves and those around us. And, you know, life sometimes does seem a little bit unfair, but there's a lot of beauty in there. And I think a lot of my love of color is actually because I do find a lot of joy in there. And it's also partially why I allow myself to buy yarns that are more on the expensive side, and why I'm not gonna be apologetic about choosing to do so, because it does bring me a lot of joy. So yeah. Way, this got too heavy. Otherwise, Christmas is nearing, and I am kind of looking forward to it. I haven't got into Christmas spirit yet, even though it is the 1st of December. But as I mentioned all the way in the beginning, it is gloomy, it is dark, it's been gray, like gray. I do have the view from my kitchen window. I can see the Holmenkollen ski jump. And I haven't seen it too much because it's been gone in the fog for a long, long time. Just been a few glimpses here and there. But yeah, it is what it is, I guess. We just have to take the weather we are given. In a way, I'm not complaining because I'm not too fond of the super cold. But when it gets so dark and gloomy as it is now, I would actually prefer snow and cold, because at least that lightens up our dark Nordic evenings, days. And also I've grown up with snow, so that is kind of like the natural way of winter for me in that sense. But yeah, Christmas is coming. We are not gonna be able to hide from that. I am in that sense looking forward to it because it is a festive season. It is lovely season. But I must say, and this might be saying something really ugly to some of you, but I do actually love Easter more than I do love Christmas, because I find Christmas is more stressful maybe than Easter is. But hey, again. Oh, actually, you know what? It might be as well the fact that when it's Easter time, then we are heading into lighter times, and just having that bright light, and of course again less stress with, like, in regards to gifts and whatever it takes to get the house ready for Christmas. Not having that kind of stress is nice. So yeah. Anywho, I guess I should stop rambling and talking about absolutely nothing. And yeah, I'm gonna insert some footage if I haven't. Yeah, I'm gonna insert some footage now from the knitting market, just to show you some of the vendors that were there, just to get a glimpse of them. There's a lot of really lovely small makers who are trying to make it. I didn't film all of them because I was trying to film when there weren't people. I was trying to not catch too many faces, and try to be respectful that people are there in their private lives and are not there to be filmed or be plastered somewhere on YouTube. So I was trying to take like footages when there were like moments of more or like less people. Not saying that there weren't a little bit. There was quite a few people all the time, but it does go like as waves. So yeah, I will post that, and yeah, reach out to me, the 2 winners, so I can send you the gifts. And I'm gonna wish you a happy Merry Christmas, because I don't think I'm gonna make it before like another episode before Christmas, but yeah. So I'm gonna wish you a happy Christmas and a wonderful month of December, and hopefully we'll see you rather sooner than later. Okay, bye.